All right, Barry, thank you so much for having me today. I really appreciate it. And thank you for touching you.
Yes, I'm sure.
Your property is amazing. So how did this happen? Where did you come from? What did you do before your journey?
Our journey here.
Yeah.
Okay. Mario and I were married right after college, and we lived upstate New York. So if you know Binghamton and the Finger Lakes, you know it's a beautiful part of northern New York, or let's say the northeast part of the United States. And we found ourselves visiting B&Bs. Became a little bit of a hobby. And over the years, when we had a chance to go away, we selected a B&B if we could, or a small inn. Sometimes we would get a chance to talk to the owners and, spend a little bit of time on the property, explore the little towns in the countryside and the history. And so it became something we were really attached to and connected to, felt a great connect, and began to nurture the possibility of purchasing an inn. And so over the years, we were in touch with advisors, we worked with inn partners, and they would send us information time and time again, like, an inn's for sale in New Hampshire, is this one of interest? And so even though the timing wasn't right, but we still were exploring and learning. Mm-hmm. And we attended a workshop one time that they had run up in Northern Jersey, and that was very eye-opening, but not too daunting, not enough to say, it didn't scare us away. It was, but it taught us what to be prepared for and what to plan for and what to challenge ourselves in terms of thinking about, all the different aspects of what it would take to run. So, and also what to look for.
Sorry, what were you, Mario, doing? Like, what was your career before?
Sure. So we lived in South Orange, New Jersey for the majority of the time we were together before coming down here. Mario has been with IBM since he got out of college. He had a good run there over 30 years before retiring. And I worked for 4 different large companies in New Jersey in corporate finance. So my background was finance and finance operations.
So that became
and it certainly did.
And project management for sure.
Yeah, we were working for, large global corporations. We had a chance to live overseas for 2 years. Mm-hmm. And when we were there, which was in about 14 years ago, we really had a chance to experience hospitality firsthand through family. We were in Milan, so we were in Northern Europe, visiting family and friends for those 2 years. And, we felt that hospitality, the genuineness of being welcomed into someone's home. And that stayed with us. So when they crystallized the concept of being innkeepers or, buying it in. And when we got that, we were just a little more restless and anxious for the moment when we might be able to move forward with our idea, with our plans.
Yeah, it's a corporate world.
Exactly. So when Woolverton came up for sale, the timing was right for us, and we knew it was the right property.
Yeah,
we
just knew.
We just knew that the location was perfect, the size was perfect, and then some of the growth potential was here as well.
And they certainly taken advantage of it.
No, we has no. Thank you. Yes, we have. Yeah.
So what's something that when you first got into the industry 9 years ago, something that you wish somebody had told you going into it? Was there anything that you were like, why didn't somebody tell me about?
People love this question. I think it's the number of things that you have to juggle in a day as the owner. Mm-hmm. So the owner might, everybody has something they love to do that they hope to do, in their second career. Then you might find yourselves never having the time to do that one thing because of all the other things that can pop up. And having come from such large companies with resources, with people to go to for every aspect of whatever the company might need or business needs in the day are. I think when you're the owner, you're looking in multiple directions every day, and so you have to train yourself to be able to multitask, to delegate. So then you realize that conceptually, but when you're living it every day, there's things you plan on doing, not going to get doing. So that learning to balance and fold priorities with a guest-facing, environment, right? So it's always want to be for best foot forward for the guest experience and taking care of everything else behind the scenes.
Yeah.
It's something you need to train yourself to be able to do and manage. Yeah.
So can you tell me about what this property was and was like before you bought it? What's like the history and
Absolutely. So this property was a private residence through the 2.5 centuries, really, from the late 1700s until the 1980s. So I think it's over like 260 years old, so to speak, at this point. But most of that was as a private residence, starting with the family, the Prof family, for listeners who might recognize the canals that were built along the Delaware River to establish commerce in the Northeast between Philadelphia and New York City. Those early settlers dug the canals and used the mule lines, mule boats, to move goods from one place to another. And so this house was originally built to support the people who were running the mills right down the street, or down the hill, I should say. And then that changed hands. The Woolverton family owned the house for about 100 years. They established roots here. They were a significant family in the town. And when they sold the property, they sold it to two other, subsequent residents. So everyone, really maintained the property well and took care of it, and remarkably, maintained so much of the original structure. And even when they added on, they did it in a tasteful way that looks like it all falls together.
Yes. Yeah, it doesn't look mismatched. It looks
exactly.
very cohesive. So in the 80s, it became any better darkness?
Yeah, so in the 80s, the family that was here, their children had grown, and the woman was a realtor, and she wanted to try and sell the house, and it wouldn't sell, so she decided to convert to a guest house. So I'd say it's probably one of the early Airbnbs. It was, I believe, a very casual setting. Guests could stay, they could cook their own breakfast, it was like a cabin type environment. And I think she lived next door. And then little by little, each subsequent owner refined the property and the rooms and the accommodations to become a select registry, bed and breakfast, which meant, having to meet certain standards of excellence and what you offer your guests. So that's, and the property changed hands every probably 5 to 10 years. And then the owners that we purchased from, one of them had been here. They've been here 10 to 15 years, basically. So each owner, again, took great care and pride in the physical property as well as the guest experience. So when we purchased the property, it really was overall in very good shape. But there were places that needed a facelift, I would say.
Sure.
Just, furniture that was a little bit worn out, or floors that need to be refinished. And we did a lot of painting. And then we started investing in a property. So we did a lot of work outside in the landscaping because we wanted to attract clients who would want to use the property for especially outdoors for weddings. Yeah. So we purchased a new tent, and we repositioned the tent. We built some new outdoor patio space. We replanted gardens and that type of thing. So every year we spend money on the physical structure and also outside to make, just keep making it look great. Also marketing them, to the clients to bring in more and more people to this area, which is a great area.
It is
a wonderful area for visitors and for, people escaping New York City or Northern Jersey.
There's so much to see.
Philly. Yeah, location-wise, we can attract, clients from all different places within 1 to 2 hours very easily.
So how many guest rooms are available right now?
So we have 14 guest rooms. There are 8 classic more historic rooms in this manor house where we are today on the 2nd and 3rd floor. The carriage house has 2 special rooms. The first floor is Garden Cottage, which is a pet-friendly ADA-compliant room. The second floor is Carolyn's Overlook, which is a 2-bedroom full apartment with a kitchen and common area for some gathering meeting space. And then we have 4 additional cottages, which are attached to the perimeter of the sheep pasture. 100 in Cotswold, Audubon, and Sojourn, and they each have their own personality. And they're more spacious with king bags and fireplaces and bars and outdoor seating. So
they're
really nice with it. Yeah.
And I love that you have rooms of all different sizes and configurations, and no two rooms are alike. They all have their own personality.
Exactly.
They can fit different numbers of people. There's really some sort of space for everybody.
Right. That's right. That's right.
So with that many guest rooms, staffing, what does your staffing look like?
Right. So we have about 10 people on staff. You met Kaylee, our resident innkeeper.
Yep.
And we're so fortunate to have her. She's not born to be an innkeeper, so we're a wonderful 5. And there's another 1 or 2 people in the office. Plus then we have our chefs. So we recently, with the addition of the in-house catering and our restaurant space, we were, before we would have, let's say, 1 to 2 breakfast chefs splitting the week. Once we had one primary chef and another person part-time, but we've now added a sous chef and another person in the kitchen and our executive chef, of course, Chef Lance Nolly. So the kitchen culinary team is expanding. We have 3 housekeepers and the baby groundskeeper, who's a neighbor who's known property for decades, who's really knows every nook and cranny. My husband and I are on site. I'm here full time, and he's available as a consult as needed. He works full time. Mario still works full time, but he's all as much as we.
So he's not bored.
He's not bored. No, he keeps very busy. So plus or minus 10 to 12, but it's probably going to go up to about 15. I also should mention 2 event coordinators who are booking and selling and booking advice. Yeah.
So let's talk the new space.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So how many years ago? So the old barn was in bad shape. Was it used for anything?
It was just for storage. Really, 3 major sections that we have rebuilt now had either partially or completely collapsed. So we rebuilt onto the original footprint. But the main section of the barn had been protected by a new roof, but it was really only used for storage. You couldn't really have people safely in the barn.
So when you first bought the property, did you have that vision for that space?
We did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we did. We talked about it from day one, because a lot of times it just comes up in conversation with guests as they're walking around, and what about that barn? That would make great event space, and people would visit and do tours, and they'd be like, well, don't you have a barn? And of course, barn weddings are it's all the rage.
Yeah.
And they're still very popular. So we did have an idea. We had talked to our architect about, starting to draw plans probably 2 years after we bought the property.
Right.
So it's been a long time. COVID was a bit of a disruptor. Just put the construction on pause a bit, but it was right before we started anything. So we just, finished up the plans and then got started the year after that.
Okay, so when you started the renovations 20...
I think we started in 21, late 20 to early 21. So it's been like a 3 to 4 year.
Yeah, so you finished this October.
Right.
And you're now booking for weddings.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then you have a whole restaurant to run.
Right. That's right. So we've added the restaurant, which is called Northridge Restaurant, in honor of former owners who used to call the Woolverton property Northridge.
That's not that you're keeping also the history.
And yes, the history is so important. It just makes the place rich and interesting.
Yeah.
It's meaningful for everybody who's here. Yeah, and also for the community to restore the place, really Hunterdon County, Bucks County, the place we live, the area that we live, is just so committed to conservation and preservation. So we fit right into that. Yeah.
So with the new space comes new marketing.
Sure. Yes.
So now the space is open and you have a restaurant. Right. What are you doing differently now to get word out about this whole space?
Yeah. So we're adding into our existing marketing, programs. Or for example, on our website, we've added a page. We did this several months ago. We added a page for culinary, and we added the restaurant there is coming soon. We were also serving some dinners to our guests before we opened up the restaurant. So we started with like 1 foot in the door as we were easing into the full restaurant opening out. And we are in the process of completing a second website, which will be for Northridge Restaurant. So people from the community, from the outside who might not be otherwise interested in Wolverton Inn, but they would be interested in the restaurant.
Yeah.
So, this is an area, again, that a lot of people come to. They might stay at one inn, but they want to go to 3 different restaurants while they're here in 3 different places. Like, let's explore Frenchtown one day, or Stockton one day, or, Lambertville one day. So it gives people other options, or people that are locals that want to come out for dinner. So we definitely have our own identity. We just listed a open table this week.
That's great.
Our social media will pick up and post and announce that we're open. And we'll just weave the culinary into all of what we already do with our communications to our guests through our emails and, again, social media and other. We use some of our local magazines and put ads in the magazines. So we just put into for the fall and winter issues.
And the restaurant is open year-round?
Restaurant will be open year-round, Wednesdays to Sundays. Closed if we're doing a private event and the bar is otherwise being used for wedding or something else. Yeah. Otherwise open.
So what sort of cuisine is the restaurant?
So we consider it a fine dining restaurant. We have a prefix menu. And it really is kind of a casual elegance, contemporary American, but Chef Lance's just has his own style of really just delicious, high quality food.
Did you just taste everything?
We would taste it most. Yeah, so I wouldn't necessarily classify it as anything in particular, like it's not necessarily French or Asian or Italian, but it's his approach to, let's say, like a nice lobster bisque with truffles, or potato bisque with fresh lobster. So some of his combinations, nice butternut, just seasonally butternut squash tart, or he does wonderful salmon and ribs, and short ribs are everybody's favorite. Sure. So the chicken, all of his proteins are just absolutely delicious.
You have to come back just to talk.
Seasonal, carrots or vegetables of the season, fresh desserts, delicious chocolates, cobblers, etc.
So I'm gonna have to come back and get you. Let's do the restaurant.
We want to be farming table and locally sourced as much as possible. That's practical. So yeah, really fun. And then we have some family favorites. He wants to incorporate his special fried chicken recipe from time to time. Offer that. We've added one of our family favorites, which is a stuffed pepper made with eggplant. It's kind of a Mediterranean. Actually, it's a nice vegetarian offering that people would really enjoy. It's very different. It's very, very flavorful, and not something you'll find on every other menu. When you look for what can I have as a non-meat, alternative. Yeah, delicious. Yeah.
Well, now that you have me drooling, let's talk about your breakfast.
Sure.
What is your favorite dish, or your guest's favorite dish for breakfast during here?
Yeah. So I think for us for breakfast, people enjoy the whole experience of just being leisurely. As part of a B&B, right?
Yeah.
The breakfasts, right? So we do make everything fresh in house. So every morning you're baked scones or muffins, pina colada scones, or that we've had for a long time. But we even make these delicious pumpkin muffins with this time of year, which are really tasty. But I like the lemon ricotta hot cakes. We make some nice just omelets and frittatas. Some really delicious French toast. We rotate the menu.
Yeah.
It's all good. It depends on your mood of the day.
Yeah.
But we like breakfast to be a very nice experience. You have a cappuccino here, so with coffee, locally sourced beans for the coffee, and good service. So it's a served at the table, or you can have breakfast delivered to your room. It's not continental. It's not buffet. It's actually just everything's made to order. I think that's what makes it special for people here. They really have everything comes out hot and fresh and made just when you want it.
Now, with the amount of staff that you have, how do you keep it organized? Are you using technology to let people know what rooms need to be turned over, what needs to be done, what needs to be...
Yeah. I've explored that a couple of times. Sometimes I feel like we need to use more technology, but on the other hand, we're fairly small. So we find that the most important thing really comes down to the communication. So we do use Think Reservation as our property management system. And starting with that, we'll just pull the reports that we need on a daily basis to advise the kitchen on any food allergies, or to advise the housekeepers what rooms are being served, what rooms are staying overnight, who is checking in today, what packages need to be prepared. We find, I mean, that plus a good innkeeper and a good handoff, a good way of communicating is what works best for us, especially since we're physically gone place. It's really about more really just making sure you let people know. Let the chef know, oh, we had a late check-in last night, there's 2 more for breakfast, or this room left early, so you have to, make, like, we haven't advanced to anything more formal than that, but I thought about it. That we tend to, we're still a little bit old, maybe old-fashioned, maybe not, but we have people in the office from 7 to 7 every day. We do use Ring Central and, have backups for phones. We don't want to miss phone calls. We still probably get 30 to 40% of our reservations by phone.
Interesting.
Yeah, a lot by phone.
Interesting.
Yeah. So we're more about hands-on people, and you can see as you're here today, there's a lot of people here.
Yeah,
doing different things. Yeah.
But that's what that's what makes this niche of the industry so much more personable.
Exactly.
You actually get to talk to them.
Exactly. That's right. Yeah.
The next lovely.
Yeah. So that's so that's where I would say is the most important thing for us. It's really to be aware of what's needed what people need to know.
Yeah.
And communicate well.
Are you getting a lot of repeat guests?
We do.
Yeah.
We have a lot of repeat guests, thankfully, and also a lot of referral business now, which is nice. People come, they enjoy their stay, they tell someone else, they'll buy a gift certificate for someone coming up, an occasion in the future. So that's really so much appreciated. And
I imagine like the restaurant, that will kind of help you do marketing for the launch.
Exactly. That's exactly right. And that was part of our thinking and having the restaurant again. We run into people all the time who don't know we're here, who might live 3 miles up the road.
Right.
Because, they might say, well, we hadn't we were there, but we never really needed a place to stay. Although, on the other hand, there are people who run away from home for a getaway, even if it's just 10 minutes down the road.
I have a small child. I can
Exactly. And so, that's an idea that everybody should, think about once in a while. Let someone else, make the bed and make your breakfast.
Yeah, and you don't always need to go far to get away.
Exactly. And that's, our tagline is, far away place close to home. And that's what people do feel when they drive up the driveway. All of a sudden they feel like they've escaped. And New Hope is right down the street. Princeton's a half hour away. Flemington's 20 minutes away. So you can get places fairly quickly.
Yeah.
You don't have to go to the top of a mountain to escape. You can really feel like you've escaped when you get here.
Yeah.
But yes, the restaurant and now the inn play off of each other. So we're seeing now more and more of our guests want to eat at the restaurant, which is nice. It's sort of a captive audience, but then also equally important, people come in from the outside who want to stay. And wait a minute, what about the inn? Yeah. So this time of year, they don't really see it because it's dark, but once it lightens up, days get longer, I imagine people will start to float over to the side of the property and walk around and explore and think about their next occasion, or someone's getting married.
Yeah.
So, I know it'll be great opportunities.
So, after the year that you've had, your last couple of years, I should say, that you've had, are there any other big plans in the future? Or you're good. Just maintenance at this point.
Well, I think that 2025 is going to be a year of realization for us as far as really opening up the doors of the new space and seeing that prosper.
Yeah.
We've hired new staff. We've got a pretty, we have a large number of a high number of tenants already booked. So
that's fantastic.
So it's
a beautiful
space. Thank you. So it's about realization of what we've put in place already.
Yeah.
Working out. There's one more building that we need to complete and round out and finally get rid of all of the construction equipment. See it through to a full year of operation. Mm-hmm. So that's our main goal.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't see any further expansion. I think we can look around and there's still so many projects that we'd like to get to. I think if I had to think of one thing that might be useful that people talked about or suggested to us is to, make the outdoors, there's a nice walkway around the perimeter of the property.
Okay.
And maybe we can find some spots where you built a little garden halfway out there, or a little reading up. So just, a few other spots for people to go explore when they're here. For what else can people do when they're here?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's an outdoor chess set or a shuffleboard or something along those lines. We'll see.
Yeah.
So there's always something to work on. Yeah. And I would say the other thing is we would like to be marketing to more clients who would be interested in retreats or in midweek meetings or off-site gatherings and such. That those are events that we haven't been able to really handle because of the space. So there's just open up a whole new world of business opportunities for us, which we're looking forward to. Yeah.
So 25 is going to be really a year of learning and growing.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Standing up on our 2 feet. Yeah. Yeah. Very good.
All right. Well, I'm so happy to have coached.
Thank you.
Again, your property is amazing, and congratulations on the new space.
Well, I'm glad you were able to get here and see it open.
Yes, I've been trying to get over for a while. It was like, space is almost on, space is almost on.
I know. You're filming everything.
Yeah, I certainly didn't want to come up until the space is there.
Until it was really...
It's amazing. And that's a big undertaking. And, good luck to you on it. I think it really has the potential to really, broaden your business, and I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And if you want to have a group of your Northeast people, fellow innkeepers, come up here for a visit, feel free. You have the space to host too. So, it's hard to get away for sure.
It is. But thank you for being an ALP member.
Absolutely.
We love having you. And, it's nice for me to get out and see all the different properties out there.
Thank you. We appreciate you coming up here and see us tonight.
Oh, that's
deals. Yeah. Stay in touch with all the other members.
Yeah.
To the book. I'll be each on my right. Yeah.
All right, everybody. Until next time, I'll see you soon.
Thank you.